What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. The San Antonio Spurs, it's been such a flawless rebuild. Really, no hiccups somehow in this. For, a team that has bled consistency for the longest time, them to do this the way they have, obviously, it helps when you get an alien in Wembanyama. But they have just done... Everything has been perfect, and they're the 2 seed right now. They're only 2.5 games back of the Thunder. And I think they're super dangerous this season because they're playing with house money. And when you look at the certain teams have pressure. The Thunder have pressure. They're defending champs. Everybody's hunting them. People that loved them on the uprise are now starting to hate them because they play physical and they don't like the whistles not going the other way sometimes. Hate to tell you guys, that's just how this goes. Teams win. Teams are great. People hate. That's how this is going to go. But the Spurs present a real threat. They really do. And I think they're super dangerous because they have nothing to lose. They're just ahead of schedule. You look at them, they're all 25 and under for the most part. And everybody's got something valuable that they're bringing to this team, whether it's Castle's defense at the perimeter, Fox's mid-range and his creation for other guys, Devin Vassell shooting the lights out, Keldon Johnson being an awesome 6-man, Dylan Harper being able to do a little bit of everything off the bench, Champagnie being able to knock down threes, Harrison Barnes being a key part to everything, Luke Cornett being a very solid backup center, and obviously your MVP guy in Wembanyama. They got so much different stuff going on, and I think they can really contend this year. I don't expect them to go win the championship. It's not my personal, they're going to go win it this year. Typically, there is a growing pain somewhere in these uprisings. There's usually something that is your setback, and then maybe next year they come back and go for it all. But, you look at them, they've played extremely well against the Thunder. Nobody's played the Spurs all that well. Obviously... And I think the thing is you have such a different blend of talent. One, they have an insane amount of just super skilled guards. You have super skilled guards that all do different things, right? And then you have Wemby just sitting behind. Teams have to make decisions on how tough a shot they really want to take. You can take a contested 3, which is sometimes almost a better look than a contested 2 with Wemby in the range. So there's a lot of things that you got to worry about with them. They're very well coached. 8-game win streak right now, and we're on March 30th at the time of this recording. They've been really healthy for the most part throughout this season. You get your injuries here and there, but they've been pretty healthy. I don't want to be a team that's got to play them in the playoffs. If you look at it right now, let's say they stay as the 2 seed, they'll probably play the Clippers or the Suns, I would guess. And the Clippers present a threat, but I don't think they're as good as the Spurs. Even though they've been rolling. I don't think they're. The Suns have a couple really nice players, but they're kind of beat up a little bit. No Dylan Brooks right now. Things like them. Whoever the Spurs play, it's probably a 5, maybe 6-game series in the first round. But, the second round gets interesting because there's a lot of different really good teams in the West. But they're the youngest. They're the youngest. They've got everything in their favor. Contracts in their favor. These guys are not getting paid for another 2 or 3 years. Right? And sure, you bring in Fox, you spend the money there. But, you don't got to pay Stephon Castle for another couple years. You don't got to pay Dylan Harper for another 3+ years. Wemby will be up in, 1 or 2 years, I think. So they've got, a dispersion to where when Fox's contract is up, that's when those other young guards, it's going to be their time. And, who knows what happens with Fox from there. But obviously he loves playing in San Antonio. They just got everything going the right way. And that's when teams start to get dynasty scary because you did everything right to this point. You have a couple bad years, you get gems for draft picks. You win the lottery, you land Wemby, super awesome. Next year you get pick 5 and you take Castle, and he's just proven to be such a really good player super quickly, which I thought he was going to be because the way he played in college seems like it would translate. And it just feels like every other night somebody's getting dunked on when he's going to the rim. And then this season, you go and get Dylan Harper at number 2. I believe it's number 2. It's just perfect execution with the trade for Fox. And then you keep guys like Harrison Barnes. You make a smart choice in signing a backup big like Cornett. You don't need him to go in there and play 30 minutes. You need 12. Give me 12 good non-Wemby minutes, and the team is going to be okay. It's really been really good. I think the one concern you may have is like consistent three-point shooting, but three-point shooting is so hard to come by, like in terms of what you're going to sacrifice to get it. So many teams, like, we got to go get shooters. And then, they don't bring back that two-way guy. They don't bring back that 3-and-D guy. They don't bring, like, certain players, they lose them to bring in this. And then you don't realize how bad that's going to hurt you in the long run. Like, sure, a guy can shoot the laces off the ball, but he can't guard anyone. So you're making a very big sacrifice there. Whereas some of these guys, they can't be played off the floor. You can't play Stephon Castle off the floor. You can't play De'Aaron Fox off the floor. You cannot play Harper off the floor. Like, all these guys are, I don't want to say matchup proof, because everybody can have a rough series. That's guaranteed. But they're in such a situation to where they can hit you with any different combination. I feel like they've got a solution to 90% of counters in the NBA. And they're young as shit. So you're going to have to make a choice. What defenses are going to have to make a choice. What do we sacrifice? What do we give up when we play them? And a lot of times it's going to be the Spurs making you pick what you're going to give up. It's not going to be you choosing. It'll be them saying, we're not going to shoot the ball that much outside today. We're just going to destroy you in the paint. We're going to do certain things with our guards that you just can't guard over and over and over again. How many teams outside of probably the Thunder have a super amount of elite perimeter defenders? Like, the Lakers don't have it. The Rockets kind of have it, but it's such a trade-off with the offensive side of the ball and then not really having rim protection. The Timberwolves are a team you can't write off because they made the conference finals 2 years in a row now. And like, Anthony Edwards will lock up. Jaden McDaniels locks up. They've got some pieces there, but they also have a weakness with the fact that you can almost play Rudy Gobert off the floor. Like, that's a horrible matchup for the Timberwolves with the Spurs, because Wemby's just going to pull him out of the paint. So it's just like, that's a huge sacrifice that they have to give up. The rim protection is essentially gone at that point. So all these teams have a weakness that the Spurs can attack. And there's not a lot that these teams can attack on the Spurs as a weakness that I think in a 7-game series that they're going to be able to pull off. I don't see the likelihood in that happening. I think they can definitely get to the conference finals. I wouldn't bet on them to make the finals. I just don't like putting that kind of pressure on a team that the average age is like 23 years old or whatever it is. There are some things there, but when you're playing a team that is young and doesn't know any better, that's scary as shit for a team that has been here before and everything like that, because that team is going to be loose. They're going to be playing free. This is sure, it's the most pressure they've played under in terms of like, stakes, but they weren't supposed to be here this soon. So, yeah, I've loved every part of the Spurs rebuild, right? I loved when they drafted Castle. Obviously, we're not going to pass on Wemby. That was a freaking layup. I loved the De'Aaron Fox trade. I thought it made a ton of sense. Obviously, you get into Dylan Harper at a super high pick in the draft, and then you just keep the right guys and you make a couple moves in free agency that just flesh out the overall roster construction to where you don't really have like nasty weaknesses. They're fun. They're fun. It sucks because like I feel like the Spurs have never been bad in my entire life, and I'm about to be 29. So they had like 3 down years, and outside of that they were right there hooping. So I don't know. How far do you think the Spurs will go this season? I think it's an interesting conversation. I really want to see them play the Thunder in the playoffs because I think that is such an interesting matchup and clash of styles. I think that'll be the best series I think we can get. Now, obviously, things are going to happen in the playoffs. Teams get hurt. Certain things just don't go the way teams want them to go. So who knows what we'll get? But if you're a Spurs fan, you're looking at the team right now with like 56 wins, and there's still 6 or 7 games left for them to where, like, I'm trying to pull up the schedule right now. Fourth in points per game, second in rebounds per game, top 10 in assists, top 5 in field goal percentage. They are 14th in 3-point percentage, so I do think that might be the slight Achilles heel they run into. And the opponent's points per game, they're 7th. So you're basically a top 10 defense, a top 5 offense, that's not to be fucked with. That is something different right there. 56-18 right now. So they've got, I think, 8 games left or something like that. They're going to be chilling, and they're not even out of the 1 seed yet. There's still hope for that. So, I've granted the Thunder are like 14-1 in their last 15 games, but I'm excited. I'm excited. If you're a Spurs fan, you got to be super hyped because this is going to be really, you're going to watch the playoffs and you're just going to be able to watch them and just enjoy. You're going to watch your young guys go through the development and see how far they can go this early. That's exciting to me. So, let me know how you're feeling about this season for the Spurs. What you think they're going to do in the playoffs. Do you have Wemby as your MVP? Because I like that he's clamoring for it and, making his case. I love when players say they want an award rather than, I just want the team to win and shut up. Tell me what you actually want. Don't give me the media-friendly answer. So I like that Wemby's saying I deserve MVP. Whether or not he does, up to the fans, up to the voters. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm done. Peace.